You're listening to the Secure Dad Podcast. Discover ways to protect yourself and your family at home, in public, and online. Welcome, friend. I'm Andy Murphy, the creator of the Secure Dad. This podcast serves to help people become proactive in their safety. The information I share on this podcast is for general information purposes only. My goal is to empower you to make safer decisions for yourself and your family, because our safety is our own responsibility. Today we're going to talk about the evolution of the modern car and the privacy risks that come with it. Our cars very well could be spying on us. All of that and more ahead on the Secure Dad Podcast. With data breaches on the rise, it's more important than ever to take control of your online privacy. This is where Delete Me stands out. They emphasize transparency and control, allowing you to manage your personal information effectively. When it comes to your personal data, trust and security are non-negotiable. Delete Me collects only the minimal data necessary solely for one purpose: removing your information from data broker websites. Unlike some services, Delete Me doesn't subcontract out your data. They handle everything in-house, ensuring you have one single point of contact for everything. Plus, they're an American company headquartered in the U.S. They're committed to keeping your data secure. I've trusted Delete Me since 2018, and it's given me peace of mind knowing that my digital footprint is being managed by professionals who take privacy seriously. If you want to join me in securing your data, head over to joindeleteme.com/dad. Use code DAD at checkout for 20% off a privacy plan of your choice. Delete Me is a proud sponsor of the Secure Dad Podcast. You've heard me talk about FlipLock and how it protects my home. I've raved about how good it is to friends and family for a while. When I got mine, I was immediately impressed with the materials and the build quality. This is a premium, well-made product, and you can tell that when you hold it in your hands. Installation was easy. They included 3-inch screws with it, which told me they knew how other locks had failed, and they addressed this issue. You see, the long screws anchor the metal housing to the door frame, giving it increased sturdiness and more protection. It can withstand 1,600 pounds of force. Our FlipLock has become a natural part of our lives now. It's easy to open and close, and it blends right into our existing door hardware. FlipLock is a great way to add an extra layer of protection to any space that you call home. If you want to take your security to the next level, head over to fliplock.com and use discount code SECUREDAD to get 20% off your entire order. I protect my home with FlipLock, and you can too. As a kid, I loved the show Knight Rider. Each week, the hero, Kit, who was a talking car, would save the day and then make some sort of dry joke. Yeah, now there was a guy who drove the car, but who remembers that guy? As a kid, I wanted a talking car. We pretty much all did. But here's the thing. Today, our cars are talking, just not to us. They're sharing our data, tracking us, and potentially invading our privacy in ways that we never imagined in 1985. So now let's discuss how these modern machines, while convenient and safe, come at a cost, which is our privacy. So buckle up. The automotive industry has evolved tremendously in the last decade. What was once thought to be science fiction, things like real-time navigation, autonomous driving, and remote vehicle control, those things are now a daily reality. And while these advancements are undoubtedly impressive, they come with significant privacy risks. Today's connected cars are more like computers on wheels. They collect data not just about the car's performance, but about you and your passengers. Automakers have found a way to market this feature that you can't live without, but in reality, it's your data that they can't live without. And even with new revenue streams that come from this data, the cars are still more expensive than ever. So let's break down some of the data that your car could be collecting on you. Of course, certain automakers collect certain data, and there's no across-the-board methods here that's going to be used, so understand that as we go. Plus, the older your car is, the more private it can be. First up, there's location data. I think we all know this one. Your car's GPS is tracking your every move, logging where you go, how long you stay, and the routes that you take. Then there are your driving habits, your speed, how hard you brake, even how often you use turn signals, which some of you need to do a better job at. And if you've synced your phone, your car might have access to your personal information like your contacts, call history, text, and emails. Lastly, data usage tracks how often you use certain features like climate control, radio, navigation, all of those sorts of things. Now, each of these pieces of data may seem harmless on their own. However, when combined into a profile, they create a detailed picture of your daily life, one that automakers and third parties find incredibly valuable. So what's the big deal, you might ask? Andy, you're paranoid for sure. Ford and Chevy don't care what I do in my car or how often I speed. And if they did care, I don't. Well, the data collected by your car is likely shared with third-party companies, often without your explicit knowledge. The wording for data collection may have been in the 14 pages of agreements that you had to sign in order to drive your car off the lot, or maybe they were on the main screen for your car for 3 seconds before you had to tap the button to sign your life away to view the rear-view camera. These third-party companies might use that data for targeted advertising, research, or even sell it to other companies, like insurance companies. The New York Times recently reported that companies like Ford and GM are selling data to brokers who then sell it to insurance companies. While the data is often anonymized, it can be re-identified if it's tied to a specific address, an account username, or even a VIN number. So in theory, your insurance company can gather data about your driving habits and adjust your rates accordingly, even though you've not signed up for driving programs like Snapshot or Drive Safe and Save. Also, as a quick note here, delete your insurance company app off your phone. Your location, usage data, and diagnostics are taken in those apps, and you better believe that they're looking at that data and it's not to save you money. So the risk doesn't stop there either. As our cars become more connected, they become more vulnerable to cyber attacks. A skilled hacker could potentially gain access to sensitive information, like your location history, personal contacts, and even your financial data if you use a connected payment services with your vehicle. Imagine somebody being able to track your every move just by hacking into your car. I personally think that in the next 5 years, hackers will be able to use scanning tools to hack cars that they find in parking lots. They'll be able to track them, start them, do all sorts of stuff. The technology is developing so quickly, and the automotive industry is too slow to change. And I think we're going to see a crucial time in automotive history in the next few years. For families, the privacy risks associated with modern cars are particularly concerning. While it is great that parents can monitor their teenage drivers' whereabouts or behavior in real time, the same technology could be used to invade the privacy of other family members. For instance, in a contentious divorce, one spouse could potentially use the data to monitor the other one's movements, leading to unhealthy changes and even putting somebody's life in physical danger. Mozilla's Privacy Not Included project reviewed 25 different car brands, and they found that they were the worst category for privacy. Some of the findings are downright shocking. For example, Nissan and Kia claim that they can determine the driver's sex life from the information they gather. I'm not joking. Let that sink in. 84% of these brands share and sell collected data with third parties, and none clearly meet Mozilla's minimum security standards. This lack of transparency and security should be a wake-up call for the rest of us. So what can you do to protect your privacy? Start by reviewing your car's privacy policy, although I admit it's not an easy read. For most of us, we don't have the time to sift through pages of legal jargon. A quicker option is to get a vehicle privacy report from Privacy for Cars. This service lets you see the general data that's being collected about your car and even offers an opt-out feature. It's free to use, but that might be a little bit of a red flag. Remember the old adage, if the site is free, then you are the currency. But I will still put a link in the podcast to get your vehicle privacy report if you want to do that. You can also contact your car's manufacturer directly. If you have a specific question, you can ask them, like, what data does the car collect? How is this data used? Can I disable certain collection features? Be proactive in understanding what's happening with your data. If you just Google your car brand plus privacy statement or data collection, you'll find some good information there. Another step is to disable data sharing features in your car. This might affect some of the functionalities, but it might be worth it to safeguard your privacy. That's a decision that you have to make. And lastly, you might want to consider using data removal services like Delete Me. They can help you remove your personal information from data broker sites, offering you an extra layer of protection after the fact. As cars evolve into sophisticated data collecting machines, the privacy of drivers and passengers is increasingly at risk. The findings in Mozilla's project underscore the seriousness of these risks, revealing significant gaps in data protection and transparency across the entire automotive industry. Also, by the way, if you own a Tesla or ride in a Tesla, just assume that everything that you are seeing and saying and doing is being recorded. Just flat out, just make that assumption. It's essential to understand what data your car collects, how it's used, and to take proactive steps to manage and opt out for data sharing. By staying informed and exercising your rights, you can protect your personal information in this rapidly changing automotive landscape. Well, that wraps up another edition of the Secure Dad podcast for today. Thank you, friend, for listening. Take back your privacy and personal data with help from Delete Me. Get 20% off our privacy plan when using the code DAD at checkout. There's a link for you in today's show notes. Fortify your home with FlipLock. For more, go to fliplok.com and use the discount code SecureDad to get 20% off your entire order. For more from the Secure Dad, consider subscribing to the official Secure Dad YouTube channel. There you can watch all of my interviews and find exclusive content. Just search for The Secure Dad the next time you go to YouTube. I'm Andy Murphy, reminding you that our safety is our own responsibility.